Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Past the Threshold. I am your guest today, Sarah. And as you know, our show is all about honest reality in a world full of BS, and it's real people sharing real life, compelling stories, both challenges and all the great things that they're doing. So for today, we have our special guest, Jake Lee, who is a mental performance coach for Winner Circle Athletics. And his skill set is that he teaches people skills to have their minds work for them instead of against them. And today we're going to be talking more about understanding elements of control, especially with what's happening with quarantine and COVID and Black Lives Matter. And this is all about how you can channel that energy so that you can use it effectively and efficiently, and also what you can do right now to really make a difference. So with that being said, Jake, you now have the floor.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you for having me, and just a lovely platform that you've created and allowing people to come on here and share real life experiences. I feel like when we are authentic is when people can truly relate to us, connect, and really soak up the words that we're saying. So just want to say thank you for having me and for all you do. Yeah, I mean, times are crazy right now. Times are crazy right now. And for those listening, I just want you to remember that I said that, because we'll come back to this. So times are crazy, and people are coming to me. My phone it's a floodgate, and it's open of people wanting to figure out, what can I do to gain control, remain in control, and what can I do to make a difference, or whatever it may be. It's with current events, it's with their own lives, relationships, sports, whatever it may be. So that's why having an understanding of the things that we can control is so vital, especially during this crazy time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have an acronym I'm going to throw at you. It's called APE. All right. And we have to remain in control of our APE. And some of you may be like, Coach Jake, what are you talking about? We have to control our APE. APE stands for attitude, process, and effort. Okay. 3 elements of control. All right. So attitude, we just break that down. It's how we think or feel about someone or something. Okay. That's the dry paint definition. But attitude is so vital because it is, in my humble opinion, it's the nucleus of our life. All right. It's our leverage for executing our process or our day-to-day actions. All right. And it's so powerful to understand, because once you have that understanding of this notion that our attitude is what essentially drives us, and at the same time we have control of our attitude, that puts you back in the driver's seat. You have that control. So I want to share this quick story. I mean, in undergrad, I see, having a good time. College, it's got the independence, freedom to do whatever you want, young kid, join a fraternity, everything like that. And Friday comes. Now, typically Fridays, there's no classes in college. I have the classes in college on Fridays. So I'm waking up like, man, I have to go to class. Like, really have to go to class today? We're throwing a big party tonight. It's Friday, weekend vibes, all of that. But I'm over here dreading having to go to class, because that's 4 hours of my day that I can't be doing something extracurricular, something fun, quote unquote, that I want to be doing. All right, we fast forward here, 3-4 years later, I'm going for my master's. Now I have this mindset of, oh, I get to go to class tonight. And I say tonight because that comes after working a full day shift until 4 o'clock, and then getting on the 405 traffic or 405 freeway, which down here in Los Angeles is not where you want to be at 4 o'clock in the evening. So I have to drive to class, hour plus every day, and then I get to go to class for 6 hours. But if you compare the two mindsets of I have to go to class as opposed to I get to go to class, I would just ask you, which one do you think had a better experience in? Which one do you think it was more beneficial? Okay, it was the master's 100%. Because in undergrad, having the attitude or the approach of I have to go to class, that's dread. But then master's, I get the chance to go to class. I'm so happy I get to go to class. That's opportunity. All right, obstacle versus opportunity. And it's just having that understanding that that little shift changes everything. It's the nucleus, as I was alluding to. So that shift allowed me to want to get to class early, stay late, ask my professor questions, network more. Okay, go above and beyond with my thesis, go above and beyond with ensuring that I have a job set up following school. Okay, and these are just all trickling effects, this cycle that's created based off of having the mindset of, oh, I get to do something. I'm seeing it differently. But it's not just class, it's everything. It could be relationships. It can be in sport. You could have a bad coach. Like, I'm dreading, I hate this coach. Or you can say, hey, this is a challenge. How can I communicate effectively in order to get the mission done? And that's all within our control. Okay, things that are going on right now in this world. People are taking different perspectives. I'm seeing a lot of people wanting to make a change, and that is wonderful. And I appreciate you for sure. But also we have to understand why we want to make that change. What is our true core attitude towards what is happening? Whether it's quarantine, are you upset because you have to stay in your house? Or are you upset because you're missing out on opportunities? Or are you upset because you don't have the ability to create opportunities? Because you do. You do. All right. As you're seeing with you, you're thriving right now in quarantine. Okay. I'm over here sharing stories about my upbringing, about my skin color and my experiences with that with people. And it's like, would that be happening without everything that's been going on in the world? No, but it changes the whole attitude, changes the whole mindset going into it. It's like, hey, I have this platform, I need to speak up. Okay, and then from there, that's where the cause and effect starts happening. That's where you start to inspire others. That's where you start to open up the minds, open up the hearts, open up the souls of other people. But it all starts with the attitude going in. What are we trying to do? How are you perceiving a situation? Life is perception, okay? And we have control of our attitude, how we want to perceive these things. Um, so again, I started this off by saying times are crazy, that's perception, okay? Times could be beautiful. That's the whole mindset. That's the whole mindset control. How do you want to see this? And then from there, your actions that follow are based upon that attitude. So those actions, that leads me into the process, the P of APE. Okay, the stepping stones that we do day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. All right. How are we going to carry out this journey? Life is a marathon. Life is not linear. There's going to be bumps in the road. Okay. I know it's cliche, but it's true. It's true. But it's not about, getting knocked down. It's about getting back up on your feet, learning from past mistakes, ensuring that, hey, that's not a failure. If I learn something from it, it's a lesson. How can I apply my knowledge and continue on this road to higher self? Okay. And how can I continue to inspire? I'm big on inspiration and sharing, giving back, ensuring that others can have those skills and are equipped with the knowledge and awareness to then be able to apply that knowledge, okay, to better themselves, better society, better the lives of their future kids. Because, it's said often that knowledge is power, but I think the application of knowledge is power. I know plenty of people that are very knowledgeable that don't do much. And it's like, why is that? Why is that? Okay. So certainly apply the things that you learn. One of the big things that we can do during this time is to educate ourselves. And as a Black man, I'm educating myself. I go through the same schooling system as pretty much everyone else. And I can tell you the history lessons that we learned about Black people in America, it revolved around Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, maybe Harriet Tubman, and that's it. So it's like I'm behind the eight ball in terms of my own culture. So I need to learn. All right. But then once I learn, it's like, what am I going to do with it? That's where the whole application of knowledge is powerful. All right. But that's, again, within our control. That's within our control. So it's understanding that there are steps. Everything that we do today sets us up for tomorrow. If we're lazy today, we're going to be probably lazy tomorrow. But if we create something today, we're planting the seed for today, we can experience a change tomorrow. But this is a momentum. It's a momentum building experience. It's all momentum. because you can be making a change, you can be making a difference, you can protest, you can learn new things, and you can apply yourself today. But a week down the road, 2 weeks down the road, a month down the road, are you still doing it? See, I see a lot of people are very riled up and passionate about making a change, which is awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. But it took 381 days for Martin Luther King and other Black people to protest riding the buses. Okay, 381 days in order for a change to occur, which is over a year. So it's like you have to understand that there's a commitment to this. It's not just doing it right now. I saw the Black Square post on Instagram showing, the silence I think what that was last Tuesday. And it's like, that's awesome. But what about Black Tuesday in July or August, September? It's like, you just have to have this awareness, the attitude, the mindset, and understanding that this is a long process. They're called stepping stones for a reason, okay? None of us are there. We're not where we need to be, okay? Or we wouldn't be having this conversation. So it's having that understanding that, hey, I may need to take on a different approach with my mindset, with my actions. And then from there comes the effort, the last letter of the 8, okay? You're either in the game or you're into the game, okay? You're in the fight or you're into the fight. You want it or you don't, okay? And it's when you have that understanding of, if I set up my attitude, I have my nucleus for my behavior. And then I have this process, all my day-to-day actions that I do, the day-to-day readings, communication, application of self, whatever it may be. Then you have to hone in on how much effort are you willing to give. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes, an hour. It's up to you. But having that understanding that each of those 3 things are in your control, there's always something that can be done. Okay, a lot of people are hitting me up saying, what can I do? I'm lost. The fact that you reached out to me is you doing something. Because we get so stressed out and feel the pressure on our shoulders to make such a big change all at once. Break it down. Break it down. The fact that you're having that conversation, you've never reached out to me talking about this before. So it's like, okay, that's a step up. That's a stepping stone. Okay, continue to reach out to people. There was one thing. Because what I tell you is one conversation, you have it with another person, that's 2, and it accumulates. It's all the snowball effect. So I would say just kind of going into various situations, whether it's with the current events, with quarantine or Black Lives Matter, understand that you are always equipped with the skills you need right now to make a difference, to make a change, because you're a human being. And by being a human, that means that you have a brain, you have a mind, and you control your mind. You control your mind, you control your reality. So you set your mind to something, you'll make it happen if you so choose. Again, application of knowledge is power. But you're always in control. You're always in control. No matter how dark the times may seem, you have control as long as you're here with us. It's tough. It's tough, but all the big changes in life are never easy. They're never easy. So use this time not only to try and make a difference in others' lives, but try and make a difference in your life. Really reflect, hone in on who you are, what you stand for, what's your philosophy, what are your standards in life? Do they need to be raised? Do they need to be lowered? Sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to make the difference. Again, I appreciate you for doing so. But if you're so overwhelmed and highly pressurized to a point where you are no longer effective, what good is that? So take this time, be good to yourself, be good to others. It's all about loving more, fighting less, and that includes with ourselves. That includes with our thoughts. If you made a mistake in the past, okay, learn from it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, because we all have to be in the right state of mind. We all have to have that same mentality of, we want this change to happen and we will do what we have to do to make it happen. The commitment that I was alluding to, in order for anything to happen, in order for any real change to occur. But that requires us to be in our best state of mind and our best selves. And I truly believe if you just focus in on the things that you can control, being best you can be, everything will fall into place. Everything will fall into place. Um, it's going to be a battle, though. It's going to be a battle. So just be ready for the long haul. Is kind of all I can really say. Be ready, and it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Keep the momentum alive. Stay true to your ape. Okay. And just ensure today is better than yesterday or any day that's come before it. All right. So that's kind of in a nutshell. I don't know if you had any questions for me there, Sarah, anything like that there.
I told myself that I wouldn't, and I just can't help it.
You rock. I'm sorry if I just kind of took over there, but I appreciate you allowing me to speak freely and openly.
No, I wanted you to, and I'm so grateful. I think for me, what really struck a chord was your video that you posted on IGTV not too
Yeah,
long ago, and it was just you being very open and sharing your real life experiences.
yeah,
As you know, my thought process being that we're in the same profession, when we think about control the controllables, it's like those moments when you feel overwhelmed by emotion
right.
and being able to, it's okay to have emotion, but leveraging that emotion in the right way at the right time.
That's it.
And when you shared those personal stories, you know, I got emotional listening to you.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess, you know, from your own experiences, because I think sometimes people hear us, they hear what we're saying, but
yeah,
how hard is it to apply that when you're in the thick of it?
correct.
You know, it's like one thing to be like, oh yeah, I see, okay, but like what's happening right now? I mean, this is real. This is
100%.
hard. Yeah, you know, and you've been
100%.
through some hardships. So when you were talking about your experiences and how emotional they were, you know, based on your experience and what you know in this profession,
Yes.
when you're in the thick of things, how are you able to have control, you know, of what you can do in those, especially in those moments where it's injustice, right? Like
Yeah,
it's unfortunately the world we live in is not fair.
correct.
So what
Correct.
have you learned for yourself, and what can you
Yeah.
tell others?
For
In
myself, to be completely honest, it's just having a firm understanding that it's always bigger than me. It's always bigger than me. And even putting that video out was tough. Being vulnerable is not easy, but it was bigger than me. It touched people. And that one recording could have led to someone making a change. So it's like if I'm in a tough situation and I see some type of injustice or any type of wrongful act, just know it's always bigger than you. So if you don't step up in that moment and say something or do something, you're just letting the problem continue. And it's not easy. Again, I understand, but all the great things in life are very difficult. So it's that character defining moment where it's like, hey, I'm not settling for this, and it's bigger than me. Have a firm understanding of your why you're doing the things you're doing right now. You know, when you have a philosophy and set a standard for yourself and for how you carry yourself, make sure you execute. Be true to yourself. Okay. And the more you practice that, and that's why I'm big on reflecting. The more that you reflect on yourself and really get to the root of your emotions and your feelings, your thoughts, and know who you are and what makes you tick, this then brings out onto the surface everything, you know, some things that may need to change, some things that need to be refined a little bit. um, and that just makes it easier for when you are in tough situations. It's like, hey, I've already faced this battle with myself. I've seen others face the battle due to their skin color or whatever it may be, and enough is enough, because that's a part of my philosophy. That's a part of who I am. That's a part of the person that I'm becoming, if you will. So I guess to wrap up, just be sure that you have an understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. If it is supporting this movement, why? Is it just because everyone else is doing it? Because it's gonna trickle out. It's gonna fade. Okay. Be in tune with that. Be in tune, and then just have a firm understanding of yourself. And that's really it. I feel like a lot of people are quick to jump and have an opinion about what other people do and stuff, but it's like, hey, when's the last time you reflected on yourself, on your actions, ran through your day to day, and really saw the events that you carried out? And how happy were you with everything that you did, the conversations that you had, the thoughts that you had? the emotions that you had. Did you get upset over something that shouldn't, that was very small in the grand scheme of things? And it's those little things, and it may not seem like it relates directly to the whole Black Lives Matter, but it does. Because we are wired a certain way, we're conditioned a certain way. And that's based on our experiences, the things that we've learned. So it's like, in essence, we kind of have to reteach ourselves in the areas where we need to grow. Okay. And this is a big area that our entire world needs to grow. So that requires you to go into those areas and really seek everything about yourself and your ideals, your values, morals, whatever it may be. It takes time and it might be uncomfortable, but hey, we got to change. We got to change. And that's one thing that's within your control.
Yeah. And when you say that, last question,
Wait, no, go for it.
and you really, it's funny because I had this in the back of my mind, and you pretty much brought it up.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what cognitive dissonance is, but it's something I've been bringing up lately, and I think it's really important for people to understand so they can understand themselves better and what's going on with them. But would you mind talking a bit about cognitive dissonance and how that plays into what's happening right now, and how control the controllables, or figure out what's in your control, can help you work through that?
Sarah, before I answer that, I'm just curious, what are some of the things that you've been talking about in relation to that? I've seen a couple videos where you have been covering that, and I appreciate that a lot. But I'm just curious in terms of like what you've already shared with your audience.
Not too much, because right now it's like information overload for me.
No, but that's good. That's good. That's that's the discomfort of growth and exposure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's, first of all, it's a great topic to bring up. But I'm curious, like what sparked that in you to start as of late?
Yeah, because I think right now politics plays a huge factor in what's happening.
I mean,
and so I think that, we all have our set of beliefs. And I will say, with the master program that I went through, it was so uncomfortable because it was constantly challenging what I initially grew up believing. And like my thought process and how I think is so different based on just being constantly challenged and having and I think that right now people are either swayed to one side or the other, and then when they hear other people speak and don't agree with what they have to say, they instantly check out or argue against it, and they're not really open to have conversations on both ends. So I know for me, when I understood cognitive, I was like, oh, this is what's happening. There's something inside of me that's fighting this because it goes against what I've known.
I'm a firm believer that going into any type of conversation or experience, you're going to hear what you want to hear and you're going to get out what you want to get out. So if you're closed-minded, you're going to hear what you want to hear. Even if the other person goes against what you're saying, you're going to hear your own thoughts back. Oh, you're wrong. And this is the only way. But if you're open-minded, it's like, hey, this is what I feel, but I'm open to hearing another perspective. So you're going to hear that. You're going to allow that of yourself. And the same thing with experiences, whatever you want. I'm going to meet some new people, or I'm going to, you're kind of creating, you're strategizing, you're prophesizing your day and your actions. And cognitive dissonance is just, it's so important to understand that where you are today is based off of decisions and lessons that you have learned and made in your life, and that is it. But having that understanding is that, in essence, you can learn and decide on new choices starting today, and really just change your whole outlook, approach, attitude, and that turns into your process and your effort. And it's hard because, as I said, we're conditioned. We're conditioned, and it's not an easy chain of events to break. But even just kind of inviting, just try and challenge yourself to the next conversation. Allow yourself 10 seconds of being open-minded and just see what happens. because I mean, no one likes to be challenged, but no one, a lot of people, I should say, don't like the current state that we live in. So shaking up that routine or that pattern is everything, is everything. And you have to have an awareness and understanding that we are here based on everything that we've done. All right. I know I've said this before, but it's,
Mhm.
if we continue doing what we do, what we have now will continue. We have to set the standard, or the standard will continue to be set as is. And you got to challenge. You got to take a step back and truly listen to what other people are saying, truly see what other people are doing, truly reflect on what you're doing and what you're thinking. Okay. And that's where growth occurs. That's where change occurs. And you have to be willing. You have to be willing, and just understand that even if you are open minded for a split second, your heart's going to keep beating. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know, your lungs are still going to breathe in some of that oxygen. It's going to be okay. You can jump right back to being closed minded afterwards. That's totally cool. But just try it out. That's all this is. That's all change is trying out different things. It's okay. It's okay. So I know there's a lot of people that are far on one side, far on another. I just invite you, just open up your minds, open up your hearts, and just try it. Try it. Again, you can go back to your old ways. That's in your control. Or you can learn something new and apply something new to your life. And maybe you'll see some benefits. And if so, keep at it. Keep the momentum going. It's all momentum, as I alluded to earlier. It's all momentum.
Mhm.
So I appreciate you asking that though and bringing it up. And I have been, like I said, I've been seeing your videos on it, and I applaud that. I applaud that because I don't think a lot of people outside of our field truly understand, what it is and the importance of it.
Mhm.
So, I see the effort that you're displaying, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to preach, another to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm constantly challenging myself,
That's
like,
it.
wait a minute, hold on. This is
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
But how do you feel after you do that?
It's eye-opening, right?
Hmm.
It's ever evolving. It's not like one of those things where like, oh, now I get it, and there's like this relief. It's a constant. So it's always coming in with an open mind, listening to someone completely, like that active listening instead of, because in our mind you can catch your brain going, oh, well, that's not exactly true because
Yeah.
A, B, and C are wanting to fight what they have to say,
Right.
and kind of catching yourself and then coming back into the moment. And then, it's okay to challenge other people too, instead of getting fired up and instantly wanting to say something back, like
Yeah.
ask them certain questions to hear their point of view more, and how this
Yeah.
makes sense to them. And
Correct.
that's really special. And um just my 2 cents, that's what I want to do with Past the Threshold. I just want to create this open forum for people to have these discussions and listen, because I think that being able to have that is really going to shake up things. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
Like
It
those
is.
views and whatnot. So
No, that's it's wonderful. It's a wonderful platform that you've created here, and I think it's only going to continue to benefit our society as a whole. The more exposure people are willing to give out as well as receive, really listen to what these people are saying, um, as well as saying the things that need to be said. Um, I know it might be uncomfortable, but there's so many more uncomfortable actions that are occurring than uncomfortable conversations. And that's just what I'm really trying to do my best to help prevent, is no more of those uncomfortable actions. So if it requires speaking, then let's speak. Let's let our voices be heard and let our actions be felt. So I just want to say thank you again for having me on and for all that you do.
Oh man, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
honored.
yeah,
I really
yeah,
appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
of course.
Yeah, you're a really special person, and I'm so thrilled for you and just everything that you're doing and how brave you are for speaking up and talking about, your own life experiences and how they play into what's happening in our world today. It's incredibly special. So,
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you, sir.
of course. Well, with that in mind, you have Instagram.
I do. I do. Yeah, you can find me at Championship Cognition, posting daily videos covering sports psychology as well as inspiration just for life. My whole mission is to help people bridge the gap of where they are to where they're trying to be. So if I can help you in any way, just hit me up. I'm always there. I'm always willing to support, showing love. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jake. I really appreciate your time, and I'm going to keep following you. And I'm so glad that you're in my little network now.
likewise, Sarah. Likewise. Yeah, keep being great. Keep being great.
Thank you. You're like a hype man.
Hey, one of many talents.
Right?
Hey,
You can have time to be like, I'm having a rough day.
that's what I'm here for. I tell people all the time, I'm in your corner. I just want to see you thrive. So, for
So
real.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You
And
too. Good luck.
thank you. And
Yeah.
for our
Yeah.
listeners, please, I
Yes.
know, right? Oh, I get what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yes.
For all you
Okay.
listeners, please feel free to check out Jake at his Instagram account. He's a wonderful person. He posts a lot of really great videos and content that can really help you to level up and wherever you're at in life. He's an amazing human being, and he is more than happy to reach out. I know he's gone above and beyond for me, so I'm incredibly grateful. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.